Okay, are we working now? All right, there it is. Um, yeah, I don't know what happened. Oh right, it's because my computer updated when I didn't want it to. So it reset a lot of my audio things, I think, but mostly through OBS. So let me just try my intro again. Hi everybody, welcome to Pause and Effect. I'm your host CJ. Thursday night game dev is normal. I admit I had a little more energy before tonight, but or like before I started the stream, but I'm going to try to power through it. So to those of you that joined me just now within the first 5 minutes, so just SC Jolly on the YouTube side, thanks for being here early. I appreciate your time. Now then, let me go ahead and get some music started. Starting with Overdose from the Katana Zero soundtrack. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to add a couple extras. Uh, where is... There's Hit the Floor. Cool. Had to get the good ones in. So, let's see. The last time I streamed this, I finished
We are not moving.
animations. And of course, like, there's like a bug with my thing. There's a bug in my game because even though it works, like, it won't register my up and down animations. And it won't register my keyboard animations at all unless I have like multiple at once. Like, my keyboard controls will only let me move diagonally, and I don't know what the problem is. Well, either way. Overall, if I use controller, it shouldn't affect much of anything, but we'll keep going.
At this point, we have basically finished the player, which means we can start
That's
working
weird.
on the
Yeah, I
cars.
agree.
For those, we have to do a couple of things. Number one, cars should spawn automatically in a specific interval. For that, we're going to create a timer in just a second. On top of that, they should start in a set position and move in a certain direction. There are a couple of things that we have to go through, so let's go through it step by step. Number one,
Okay.
we have to learn about signals.
Right.
These are a vital component of Godot. And basically, any node can emit a signal. For example,
I kind
a
of
node
remember
can
this.
trigger when there's a collision or when a timer triggers. Every node has its own signals, depending on what they're supposed to be doing. This is a super important concept. Let's have a look at it. Back inside of Godot, let's say I want to look at the player, specifically the root node, so the character body 2D. On the right, we have the inspector, and there we can also see the node. This one contains signals and groups. The thing that
Is it just because my window is smaller or won't let me pull this out? That's why. Okay.
matters for us are the signals. In here, you can check all of the signals that this node can emit. For a character body 2D, there aren't many, because this node in general is just supposed to collide with things and not do that much more. So we can check some general things, but they're not really that useful. Instead, a much more interesting node that's added to the main game is going to be a timer. This is, well, a timer. If you look at
Okay, let me add that real fast. Add child node timer. I think I can turn down the Spotify a little bit.
the inspector, you can get a wait time, if this is supposed to trigger once or multiple times, if it's auto-starting, and that's kind of all you need. Let's say I want this timer to auto-start and then run for 4 seconds. This right now is not going to do anything. If I run the scene, at some point the timer is going to trigger, but it doesn't really do anything once it triggers. So this is no good. But what we can do, inside of Node, we have the timeout signal. This one
Oh, his is labeled as node. Inspector node history. I have, because I have a newer Godot, inspector signals and groups. Okay.
This one is going to be triggered when this timer times out. The way you are going to use it is you double click on it, and then you have to connect it to a script. At the moment, the only node that we have with a script inside of the scene is the player. So what I want to do is to add a script to the game scene. Add a script, the defaults here are fine, create, and now with the timer selected again, double click on timeout again, and then add the signal to the game script. Connect, and then inside of this script, we can run a function. Let's say I want to print timer has triggered.
Right.
If I now run the entire thing again, every 4 seconds, we should be getting...
Okay. Let me check in this area to see if it goes. Yep. Timer has triggered. Yep.
Timer has triggered. There we go. This should happen multiple times. There we go. This looks pretty good. If we enable one shot, this would only happen once. This system, I want you to practice right away as well. So, I want you to create an Area 2D node. This should be at the top of the map, and when the player enters, it should print player entered. An Area 2D node works like the other physics objects, meaning you have the node and then you need a collision shape. After that, look at the signals and see what you can work with. Pause the video now and see how far you get.
Okay, let's see. Create an Area 2D node with an area at the top of the map. Area 2D. There. Redo, move canvas Area 2D to here. But this is very strange. Hey, Pickle, welcome to the stream. Okay, Area 2D node with an area at the top of the map. Are we sure it's an Area 2D node? This node has no shape. Yeah, I could have figured that. Alright, hold up. So let's... Okay, let's see. Node 2D. I think collision shape 2D? Oh! Area 2D. Now we add a collision shape 2D to this. Rectangle shape. We're actually going to put this here. What's the best thing I've eaten this week? Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I had a pretty decent burger this evening. Like, I was out earlier, we were celebrating my stepmom's birthday, and the restaurant we were going to temporarily closed like 2 days ago due to a kitchen fire. Which kind of sucks, but we ended up going to this place that serves like, it's Mediterranean cuisine, but they also did like classic American foods with like Mediterranean ingredients this evening. So we all split an appetizer that was like this like skillet that had they couldn't handle the heat. Damn, bro. It was like this white bean and sausage skillet dish that actually turned out to be pretty good, and the burger I had also turned out to be pretty good. So yeah, overall successful meal. Okay, so create an area 2D node with an area at the top of the map. Already made that. Then set up a signal. Function on collision shape 2D tree entered. Print player has entered. Okay, let's try it. What? The player hasn't entered it yet, guys. Okay, that's not it. Oh, wait a minute. I think I got the wrong thing. Area shape entered? Either that or body shape entered? Hang on, I'm gonna try it like this. Okay, it hasn't triggered yet. It's still not working. Oh, right, I gotta... Alright. Area 2D... Then is it this one? print player has entered. There, it worked. So I'm gonna show this again. Pay attention to where I'm circling down here. There. It automatically did it once I entered the thing. So it worked. We can move on.
I want to add an area 2D node. Once again, Godot is giving us a warning that this has no shape. This we can fix by adding a collision shape 2D or collision polygon.
That's
2D.
what I did.
In your case, you could just add a collision shape 2D. With a rectangle, it would be totally fine. But just to illustrate what you can do with a collision polygon, let me add this one. So create, and now nothing has happened. But if you look at the top, we can create a bunch of points with this thing here selected.
Automatically does it for me.
You can simply draw a couple of points vaguely at the top of the screen, like so. And to close the shape, you want to click on the origin point again. Now we have another shape for this area 2D. For the area 2D,
Actually, I want to see something real fast. So variable direction, variable seed, function ready, function physics process, direction equals input dot get vector move left, move right, move up, move down with a dead zone of 1. Velocity equals direction times speed, animation move and slide, function animation if direction, animated sprite 2D. Hey, Jenny, welcome to the stream. I can tell you the worst thing I've eaten this week is the yogurt I'm currently eating. Ugh, damn. Yeah, there's something really strange about that.
inspector doesn't matter that much. But if you look at the signals, we're getting a ton of stuff to work with. Most importantly, we have body entered. This one checks if a physical body has entered this area, which is what we are looking for. So double click on it and connect it to the game script. On area 2D body entered would be a decent name. Although what you could also do is rename this area 2D to finish area 2D. And then the name here would also change. It's usually a good idea to have descriptive names in here. Since our game is going to be quite small, this doesn't matter so much, but for a more complex game, you really want to have precise names. Anyway, click on connect. And now we have another function that is going to be called whenever a physical body enters this area 2D. Once that happens, we can print the body that we are getting, and we can print as...
Hold on. He did on finish area 2D body entered? I just did on area 2D body entered.
entered. Let's run the entire thing. And if I move up, at some point, we are getting inside of output the player character and has entered. So this function here did trigger. So with that, we have signals. Those are incredibly useful inside of Godot.
Nice.
They make any kind of node much more interactive and give you a ton of options. Before we finish, there's one more thing that I want to do, and that is to organize the game scene a bit better. Inside of game, I want to add another child node, which is going to be a plain node, which I want to rename to timer, and then add the timer that we've just created.
I see what he did.
To it. And that way I can also remove timer 2. Godot added the 2 because you cannot have the same name for two nodes. The timer that we have created should be called the car timer. And for now, I want to disconnect this signal. which you can do by right-clicking on it and then disconnect. Also, inside of the script, this timer function should disappear. We're going to replace it in just a second. For now, I just want to have a clean start. On top of...
Wait. No, it seems to be doing fine. Let me double check this and see if the every 4 seconds thing will pop up again. Yeah, so I don't have to worry about that.
The finished area 2D can go inside of borders. I think they kind of work together. And finally, this exercise object should just be a 3. That's the better name for it. On top of that, the sprite 2D is simply going to be the BG or the background. That way, all of this feels much more organized. This is something you are going to learn really, really fast. The scene tree can become cluttered incredibly fast.
I already know.
You want to keep it as organized as possible. Now that we can create a working timer, we can start working on spawning the cars. For that, we have to go through a couple of steps. And along the way, we are going to learn how to spawn scenes via code. In other words, we want to create instances of a car whenever a timer triggers. For that, number 1, we have to create a basic car scene. This is going to happen in the normal way. We are just going to create a new scene with a sprite and an area 2D. After that, we're going to store the car scene in the main game. Next up, when the timer triggers, we're going to create one instance of that car scene. And finally, we can attach the car scene to the current game scene.
So let me think. If I remember right, there should be a way to do this. So what are we extending here? Character body 2D. So I think the car needs to be a rigid body 2D. Also, I'm reading the YouTube chat. Jenny, I am with SC Jolly on this one. Dairy-free yogurt alternative with waxy chocolate shavings. That just sounds like a recipe for disaster. Just, ugh. No, I could never.
That way, we can actually see it.
Okay, right. So the car scene probably needs to be a rigid body. I think so anyway. Like, you can do... So let's see, there's a red car, there's a yellow car. I think I saw there's a green car? Yeah, there is. There's a horizontal one and a vertical one. Oh, the red car, the sideways red car is just labeled red. Got it. There is only a taxi yellow car going like sideways in these things. So let me think. What I would do, rigid body on all the cars. I would need to make all 3 as their own objects. Store the car scene. Create an instance of the car scene. You would need to set it up so that the object is not immediately loaded into the scene when you start. Like, there was something in the old tutorial for, like, dodging the creeps on Godot's website that talks about that. But let's see how he does it.
Inside of Godot, I want to create a car scene. Add a new scene, and the root node is going to be an area 2D. This area...
An area 2D? Really? Change type. Area 2D.
Area 2D, by the way, I have used because there are no actual collisions between the player and the car. Whenever there's any kind of collision between the two, the game is ending right away. So an area 2D here is totally fine. To this area 2D, I want to add a sprite 2D so we can see something. The graphics for that are gonna come from cars. Select one of them and then assign it to the texture of the sprite 2D.
Okay, inspector. Let's add that in.
Then we are getting one car. After that, for the area 2D, I want to add a collision shape 2D, which for this one can simply be a rectangle shape. Make sure you cover the whole car, like so, and...
Right. Let me see how he does it.
I guess kind of like this.
Okay. So then... collision shape 2D. Yeah, it needs to be a rectangle. Nope. It's like a pixel or two off, but I mean, what difference does it make, honestly? Okay, so his thing isn't covering the wheels. So you can theoretically get away with, well... No, I feel like you maybe want it covering all the way down to the bottom bumper at least. I don't want to say that makes it feel more realistic, but it feels more real to the experience of being like slapped by a car in a way.
It doesn't have to be too precise for our purposes, but obviously for a real game, do spend some time on it. All of this I want to save as car.tsv.
I will save this. Save scene. Redcard.tscn.
CN, click on save, and now
Yes.
we have one car. That actually should be renamed to car. And then inside of scenes, I should have done it before. This shouldn't be area2d.tscn. This should be renamed r.tscn. Much better. Now we have a car scene.
This is why I'm
I want to
proactive.
spawn inside of Godot whenever this car timer triggers. Speaking of which, for this one, wait time should be 1 second for now.
Okay.
And it should auto start. After that, for Node, I want to go to timeout once again and then connect.
Hey, Sylphie, thank you so much for the raid. How was your stream? How was Rune Factory 4? And to all of Sylphie's raiders, hi, welcome to Pause and Effect. I'm your host, CJ. Every Thursday I do game development. I hope you enjoy. I hope you learned something. I'm mostly just doing this for me, but if you have to raid and run, I completely understand. Thank you for being here.
On car timeout timer to the game script. And now we get on car timer timeout. Whenever this thing triggers, we want to create one instance of the car.
Wait, why is it called on car timer timeout?
After that, for Node, I want to go to timeout once again.
Okay, signals, timeout, connect to game.
And then connect on car timeout timer to the game script.
Stream is fine, nearly died a few times.
And
nice.
now we get on car timer timeout. Whenever this thing triggers,
Well,
we want to create one.
Dying in video games is never fun, but hey, at least you're learning.
Instance of the car scene and attach it to the game. For that, we already have a car scene. So next up, we have to store the car scene inside
Wait, he wrote something.
on car timeout timer to the game script. And now we get on car timer timeout. Whenever this
Oh. Okay, so I want to get rid of that. Print. Vroom, bitch! Interestingly, one of the guys who... are you talking about... Oh, don't read out loud. Okay! Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but, I bet you, like, $5 I can guess who it was. But, I'm not gonna say anything about that. Yeah, so that one I'll disconnect, so...
This thing triggers, we want to create one instance of the car scene and attach it to the game. For that, we already have a car scene.
There we
So
go.
next up, we have to store the car scene inside of the game scene, which we do all the way at the top. I want to create a variable car underscore scene. The data type for this one is always going to be a packed scene. You are getting it by preloading the car scene. Godot is now giving you all of the options of data that you could preload. In my case, I want to get scenes and car.tscn. That way, let me add just a bit more
Scene,
space.
Res,
We
repository,
have the
red
car
car.
scene ready
Cool.
inside of the game scene, which means we have covered the second part.
Nice.
Next up, we have to create one instance of this car scene, which is going to happen every time the timer triggers. To create one instance of the car scene, we have to call instantiate. That way, we are creating an instance of it, which we want to store in another variable. Let's call it
Car scene dot.
That way, we have one
Wait.
instance, so we have
Oh my god, go back. Car scene dot instantiate.
variable. Let's call it car.
Okay. Variable car equals car scene dot instantiate.
That way, we have one instance, so we have covered the third step. Finally, to actually see the car, we have to attach it to the current scene.
If I had to guess, you put not on function ready, but on function car. Wait, no. Car is a variable, not a function.
This happens via add child. I want to add the car, and then I can run the game, and we should...
Hey, Spookin' Beast, welcome to the stream. Add child, parentheses.
be seeing the car somewhere around the origin point. So there, we are getting the car. On top of that, with the game still running, you can
Too few arguments for add child? Did I miss something here?
look car. I want to add the car, and then
Oh,
I can run the
car.
game, and we should be seeing the car somewhere around the origin.
You follow the raid from Sylphie? Ah, nice. Oh yeah, I can see. Raider from Satanic Papillon. How you doing? What code is this? So this is in a Godot engine, which uses its own scripting language called GDScript, but you can code this in C#. I think it's C# if you want to, but everybody has been saying like, oh yeah, GDScript is actually a lot better. It's intuitive and a lot easier to understand. And having this being the third or fourth time I've like referenced this tutorial right over here to try and like make stuff. This is like the first thing that actually gets me to understand it, which thank the Lord. Your hubby tried to learn Godot. You've tried learning both Python and JavaScript. Python is legit. I studied a lot of Python when I was in college for my degrees, but Haven't really used it at all. But JavaScript I also learned a tiny bit of, but have retained literally nothing. Either way. Okay, there's the car. Player has entered. Player has entered. Good, that works. Okay, so I definitely need to make the car asset a lot bigger. Alright, let me see what that does. LOL, that's the part of why you stopped. You realized Python had very limited applications outside of machine learning. Yeah, that does tend to be the case, but I don't know. I've always said Python is very good as a universal base for like how you learn how you learn code. It definitely helps a lot.
Point. So there we are getting the car.
As far as like actual applications though, I couldn't tell you.
With the game still running, you can look at the scene tree, and there we have remote, where you can see the nodes in real time as the game is running. And there you can see Godot keeps on adding area 2Ds to it every time the timer triggers. Besides that, you can see the nodes that we have added ourselves. So this is a real-time view of the game. And well, you can see quite well that we are adding more and more cars. Inside of the game you can't see them because they're all in the same position, but that we can work on. Inside of the car scene, I want to add a script to it. The defaults here are fine as they are. And then for the car, I want to add var direction, which is going to be a vector 2 that at the moment points to the left. Besides that, I want to have var speed, which is going to be 100. After that, I want to call func underscore process.
Oh, I already have the process.
In which we are updating the position of this area 2D node. So once again, inside of transform, we can update the position of this node. Like we have done in the beginning of this project, I want to get the direction.
Okay, man, gonna hang with the family, but pop in with the emotes and such. Good luck with the coding. Thank you so much for chiming in, Spook and Beast. Thank you for the lurk. I will hopefully see you around.
Multiplied with the speed. And you might be wondering now...
Right, position plus equals direction times speed.
Why do I use process for the car, while for the player, I used physics process? And well, for the play...
Wait. Oh, yeah.
Here we have collisions, so we want to include physics. Whereas for the car, we don't actually have collisions. Once again, as soon as there's a collision between the player and the car, the game ends right away. So we don't actually have collisions, we are simply checking for an overlap. In practice, you could also use physics process, it doesn't really matter for our purposes. But anyway, with that, we should have the car movement, although I think 100 is a bit too much. Let's go with 2. Let's try out of this now, and there should be a car going to the left. And that...
Alright, let's see it. Yeah. They are spawning in. Okay, this is another Street Fighter truck that I did not recognize at first. I'm gonna add a few things to this shuffle. Alright, that's one. I had one in my head and I friggin' lost it. It doesn't matter. LOL at the output, and then vroom, bitch.
Is looking pretty good. Perfect. Once again, if you look at remote in the game, you can see we are adding more and more car scenes to the game. That being said, there is a bit of a problem. Number one, adding the cars to the game scene is going to clutter the scene tree a lot, which is going to make it difficult to work with. So what we can do at this point is add another node 2D that we can call objects. All of the objects in the game are going to be inside of this node 2D, including the player and the tree. Add them in there, and then inside of the script, I want to add the cars to these objects as well. You can simply drag and drop.
Objects. So the player. Pretty much just throw those in there.
Drop objects in the right position. Don't forget the dot. And now we're adding the car to the objects node.
I see. Objects.addChild car. Yeah, so then it's all gonna go in here.
If I run the game inside of remote, all of the cars are going to be inside of object.
Yeah, every time it spawns a car, it is all popping up in here. Helpful.
Thanks. If you minimize it, this looks a lot cleaner. Once again, not something you have to do, but it's going to make your life quite a bit easier. Besides that, it's actually not a great idea to spawn cars indefinitely. So at the moment, we keep on adding more and more cars. And this goes on forever. It never stops. Which isn't great for performance. Because once a car leaves the screen, it shouldn't be there anymore. You can't see it, you can't interact with it, it should just disappear. And think of a more complex game. The more objects you have, the slower the game is going to run. So you want to keep the amount of objects as low as possible, which is generally a good idea. In other words, for the car, as soon as the car leaves the screen, we want to destroy it. That you can do by adding another node, which is called a visibility screen notifier 2D.
Okay. So add child node, visible on screen notifier 2D.
This can check if node is entering or exiting the screen. It should roughly fit the texture, that looks alright, it doesn't have to be too precise. And then, inside of the signals,
Wait, I actually got it to fit. Incredible. I didn't have to be completely precise, I got it to fit in. Yay!
You can check if the screen was entered or exited. We care about exited.
Okay, so signals. Where are we
if
connecting
I connect
this?
To the car scene.
Yes. Connect to red car.
We want to destroy the instance of the car scene as soon as it leaves the screen, or when this function is triggered.
What is it, Q free?
This in Godot, you are doing via Q3.
Yeah,
this destroys
I remember
the current
things.
instance of the node. Or in other words, if I run the game again, and go to remote. Inside of objects, we only ever have maybe 2 cars. As soon as the car...
Hang on. Where are the cars? Well, that's not good.
leaves the screen, we are destroying it. So we only ever have that many cars. And inside of the game, you can see we only have...
Wait, I have an idea. Do I need to move the player here-ish to witness the car spawn? Okay, something is clearly wrong with mine. I don't know if there's any comments. I don't know the newest. Yeah, I don't know.
2 cars. Inside of objects, we only ever have maybe 2 cars. As soon as the car leaves the screen, we are destroying it. So we only ever have that many cars. And inside of the game, you can see we only have 2 cars on the screen, maybe 3 cars sometimes. That way we are making sure that we only ever have so many cars on the screen, which is going to be really good for performance. Now obviously for our game, since it's really simple, it doesn't really matter, but it's generally good practice. Besides that, I want to set start positions for the cars. At the moment, the car always starts in the origin point, which obviously isn't great. To fix that, I want to add another node 2D to the scene tree that I called car start positions. In here,
Okay, wait, and what was this?
starts in the origin point, which obviously isn't great. To fix that, I want to add another node 2D.
Node 2D, got it. Alright, node 2D. Car start position.
To the scene tree that I called car start positions. In here, we want to store a couple of nodes that have the start position for the car. For that, you could use a node 2D. It would work, but Godot also has a marker 2D that works a little bit better. So with this marker 2D, if you move it, you can see that we have the origin point along with this cross around it. So it's a little bit easier to see. But outside of that, we only really care about the position of this node, and this we are getting via transform and position.
Yep.
These marker 2Ds, I want to move to all of the car lane start positions. Left or right doesn't matter so much. You can alternate or you can stay on one side, whatever you think is best.
Hold up. Oh! I did not mean to do that. Oh! Whoops, I opened up my own stream.
So let's...
Okay. What? No. Why are you displaying...
It doesn't matter so much.
There.
You can alternate, or you can...
Actually, I'll leave that there. Now, marker 2D. That highway is massive. Like in the scene itself, like I think Frogger has always been bigger. Unless you're talking about something else.
Stay on one side, whatever you think is best. So let's do this again, like so and like so. And then we have a start position for every lane. Once we have that, as soon as we have a new car, we want to update the position of that car. For that, first of all, I want to get a random marker from the car start positions. Let's store that in a new variable, position.
Let's try that. So then I come back over to script here. Oh, it would be in the game, isn't it? Yeah.
Marker. The way you're getting that is, first of all, you want to get the car start positions and then get children. This is going to return an
car start positions dot get children. Is that what I called it? Position.
array with all of the child nodes. On an array, you can call the method pickRandom. That way, you're picking one random child of car start positions. And once we have that,
Handy.
we can get the current car and update the position of that car. Now, right now, you don't get position as a suggestion. That is because Godot doesn't know what kind of node this car is that you have just instantiated. If you want all of that, you can add S and then the type of node that you want to create. So in my case, an area 2D. That way, if you have car, you can get all of the suggestions again, which can be super helpful. And generally, being really picky about the right data type is a good idea. It can make your life much easier. Anyway, for the car position, I want to have the position marker. And don't forget, position marker is just a node. On this, we want to have the position as well. If you want to be super precise here, this could be S marker 2D. If I now run all of this, we should be seeing a car coming from the right. And that is working pretty well. If we go further down, there are also some cars.
Well, let's see. Okay, so yeah, the cars themselves are not spawning. Oh, but they certainly want to spawn... They don't want to spawn down here. But they'll spawn up here? Okay. Like, this makes no sense. Will they spawn down here? Okay, they won't spawn down here, but they'll spawn up here, just not in the right spot. Oh, wait, is it because of the boundary of this node? Oh no, that's the player's camera boundary. Hey, Zeus of Olympus, welcome to the stream on the YouTube side. I have not seen you in a very long time. How you been? Maybe I need to move this? Hmm. Wait, I had an idea. While I'm attempting to think about this, why isn't my notepad opening? Okay. I keep a notepad of, like, things that I can title my streams. So, I would like to stream the Duskbloods at one point whenever it comes out. Hold up, Youngblood. Then, Resident Evil Requiem. I'll add, Sundays into this. Going with Grace. And parry this casual. Because I think parry this, you filthy casual, will, is a little too long. Just reminds me of the Russian Badger quote, just find some evidence in this missile, fuckface! Okay, I missed a few chats on the YouTube side. I've been doing great, just a few ups and downs here and there. Alright, well, you can't... Well, it's like I like to say, you can't have a sunny day without some rainy days. But, I hope things are going well on your end, and, that's all I can really say.
That can also disappear, and that...
Oh, right, I need to re-add the markers. Or wait, I'm realizing... Is it because they're... outside the boundary of the game? Is that what the problem is? Where the hell are the cars? Why are they spawning up here? What the hell? This makes no sense. You got run over, LOL? Yeah. What is this? There's like a node here. Okay, there is something very wrong here. Okay, what node is that? And what node is this? Something is utterly broken in this scene. And I am not figuring out what the hell it is, because what are these boundaries I'm seeing? Where are they coming from? Unidentifiable boundaries. What is this overlapping with? Okay. Minor map snafu, it's fixed now. Oh, wait. this blue boundary, is it the window size? How did all of these... Why are they all... This makes absolutely no sense. There's like marker nodes in spaces where they don't make sense for them to be there. Let me double check something though. Okay, I am definitely within this blue box. So it's like there's a mechanical boundary here. Ah. Hmm. They only want to spawn in there. So I feel like I definitely need to, So I need to remember 3 hours, 27 minutes, 5 seconds. I'll write that down here. There.
Concept. Alrighty, let's get started with the first project, where we are going to create a progress-style game. Obviously, this isn't going to be the most sophisticated game. However, it is going to teach you all of the important parts of Godot, like using scenes and nodes, using GDScript, and using all of this to create logic. By the end of it, you should already have a pretty decent idea how Godot works on a basic level. Now to get started, for the first part in this project, we are going to create a very basic outline, where we have a player and the background. Or to go into a bit more detail, we want to create a basic game scene, and then place the player inside of it. And that being said, graphics. In there, with the latest and description. Now, and the features of and folder, and then you get to say exactly what I script. I want to create a 2, then save the entire thing with Control S or scene and TSCM. It's going to be there. Or in other words, I want to drag map.png into this texture slot, and then we have the background. That is actually already pretty solid. That way we have at least, this is called Sprite 2D. And this original roughly set to do and default filter style, player TSCN is totally fine. And then we have the player. And this player we want to add to the game scene. So with game selected, I want to either instantiate a child scene or press Ctrl Shift and A, and then we can add button here the game small at the moment. Suppose to see the player a bit scale to game better. Alright, much more visible. And that is definitely better. Alright, with that, we have 2 scenes that work script of scene. First of a direction, and this needs to be a vector 2. If you want to I want to score When we are of this via this value to add going to apply vector, we can do if and it down really bound few objects.
I'm just
of
like
that
skipping ahead.
On top, you have the scene select to be sent this up and if error around for that, we have to capture input to this thing. You have some kind of input.
I should actually double check my project settings input map. Yeah, there's definitely a bug with my shit.
Like a key press on the keyboard, for example. For example, I can type left and press enter, then we're getting one action for left. And to this action, we can assign events, which is a fancy way of saying,
yeah, I know.
To the all couple of use this, for example, is to only move the player if this value is pressing the right button. Then we
wait. What if I did that? Oh god. Oh hell no, let's not do that. Yeah, the cars are only spawning within this blue boundary. I can't quite figure out how to move it.
we want to move right. Oh, this the player is moving. As all of press or players to direct you to.
I feel like I've missed something here.
By the rest, it's in script. Make sure that is input might millisecond, but fit it on just the user in very good. Most importantly, everything is tiny, where we are going to add the camera. Fortunately, cameras in Godot are really hard to follow. Whatever you need. The player, I will run the whole grid of this code, so we're not scaling it up anymore. To the player scene, I want to add a camera, the camera. Words, if I now run the game and I run around, the camera is following the player, which is already a lot better. Besides that, if you look at the inspector, we can modify a couple of things, most importantly the zoom level. If I set this to a factor of 4 for X and Y, then the frame has gotten a lot smaller, and if I now run the game, we can see the player quite a bit better. And that is actually already making a pretty big difference. You can also set the offset, and for example move the camera. Besides can set, then we have with test. Then use again whatever you think is best. We never I can go to the right, but the camera stops at position 0. Okay, the game. You want to look at where this map starts and ends. Pixel measure 92 as well. Then for the top, we have negative and rulers. You simply want to drag them outside.
I mean,
of the
I've
screen.
done this.
The negative 192. The right side should be 190.
You've just noticed the tutorial doesn't have a big blue area at the top. Oh, like this one is actually SC Jolly my boundary wall. So let me move to where it's at. These blue boundary walls that you're seeing in my scene, these prevent me from walking off screen. So like, I look like I'm off screen, but you can still see me. You can still see my character's feet moving. So like, it prevents me from leaving the screen entirely. Okay, hold on. What song is this? Oh. Okay, no, I'm putting Battle of Eden on. Love me some One Step from Eden music. Tutorial doesn't have... What green area? Like this? Like this? This, Essie Jolly, this is just grass. It's part of the sprite set.
The top should be -3. The can move in the different directions, and we cannot go working pretty well and makes the game feel quite a bit nicer. And project set and the asset port should be fine. But there's one really important thing missing. We're going to fix. There are 3 that is lighted that body everything near visible to sub, but it's these. As a consequence.
Okay, so he doesn't talk about it. Okay, what was my thing? 32705.
Well, bit more fine, right? And there, inside of physics process, but it main pick the car for XP on the side step on the E also the to move on color. For this the moves change in position is applied with speed that
Oh, I went way too far.
suggestion no super an hour is predicted. We will likely get to rent a car.
The root node of a scene is recommended not to be transformed. Well, when did I transform the root node? This makes very little sense. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like what I need to do is completely close out of Godot for the time being and relaunch it. Yeah, no. Essie Jolly, the roads are part of the overall sprite. That's this entire map. Wait, is that why? Hold on. hold on. Godot engine game mechanics boundary. Wait. I feel like I remember seeing...
Our game is coming together quite nicely, and for static character play be things for physics fraction, meaning this is to get them. Now, character 1, baited but no stat, tape that expect. And the command, yeah, create with a tree. Again, it's tree.
Okay, I don't care about the trees right now.
We have a light pick up actually. So with that, get it's called this one borders. The law that is not able to enter on now the 4 sides. Like that, we can move to this and want it to chain. These collisions where we here with your ray and all the way down. You're going to animate the player, which is a lot great. And then to add the most, you can let you basically play the animation, inside drag it in there.
I think maybe I've
you
gone
can
too
see
far.
that our game is coming together quite nicely, but there's one really important thing missing right now: physics or another user input. At the most of this camera, other and sync. Go side, scaling it super time, zoom in. For that, simply by having the game and I run around, the camera is following the player, which is already modified. Pretty big difference, bit or up by quite a bit. Purpose is up to enable it right away. If I run the game and I move around, the camera looks to something positioned smoothly. But then the one is to drag the ruler, and then you get a pixel measurement. So if you hold it there, this is going to be tricky, and this screen should be
Okay, this
negative.
is the part I'm thinking
The top
of.
should be negative.
It has something to do with this blue outline that I'm seeing, like, right here. Like, the cars are spawning in it, but I can't select this in order to move it. Okay. There. This offset is a lot better now than it was. I just need to... Oh yeah. God, this song is doing nothing for me right now in terms of how stressed out I feel about this whole thing. God. Okay. Auto translate. I don't know. I have definitely done something incredibly wrong here. And the only thing I can think to do is undo all this progress. Until it turns out I can't anymore. Am I gonna have to rebuild this entire thing? I don't know, dude. Like, something clearly happened here. What song is this? Okay. Nope. No. Here we go. So, limit on. No, no, no. Yeah, no, this isn't what I'm thinking of. Hey, Killer Machine, thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. That's not it. Hmm. There. Move that. May need to adjust like the boundaries on this map. Push that up. Moving along from this. There we go. You know what? I'm putting this on repeat for a little while. It makes me feel hopeful. I just see a ghost emoji from Spook and Beast. Are those glow sticks? Yeah, those are totally idle glow sticks. Nice. I think I can turn my Spotify up just a tad. Okay, if you don't recognize the song, this is Hanger from Daemon Ex Machina. Okay, what is this pink boundary? Oh, wait a minute. The pink boundary is my camera. And the blue boundary now is where the cars are going to pop in. Yeah. All four of these need to be moved. Let's see if it works. Well, give me a second. So... Okay, so top left, negative 574. Negative 574. $9.63 for the right. 9.63. Wait. So top negative 956. So then that's weird. Okay, sorry. Hold on, what is moving? Okay, there. Okay, so the bottom is 1604. Now I can move all my boundary walls back into place. That's cool. Wait. Okay, wait a minute. Figured I was gonna hit a few snags along the way developing in Godot engine. I didn't realize there's like one thing that would just utterly break this entire shit. Ow. I may have to reset. Yeah. That's definitely better. Now let me check and see if I did this right. I mean, okay, kind of. Like, it's calling the markers within a different position than it should. That's the problem. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I guess because my big problem is this like purplish blue boundary I'm seeing for like 2D. For Node 2D, like where is it being referenced in this entire thing? And you can hardly see the boundary of it. Hmm. Back to the tutorial, I guess. Yeah, no, that's not. The tutorial mentions nothing about this. Godot 2D adjust mechanics boundary. You know, I have an idea. Change type area 2D. Add child node. Collision shape 2D. Rectangle. So maybe I figured it out, but I think I definitely have to come back for something, which is like... Okay, so I need to come back to car spawning. Because I needed to reference the thing where it's being, or no, I need to reference the script. So on car timer timeout. This whole thing extends node 2D. Variable car equals car scene dot instantiate as area 2D objects add child car. Variable position marker. So technically I don't think I need to change anything. Well, I mean, a car is driving in a lane. Well, now it's not. Okay, these car spawning nodes are being called higher than they're supposed to be. So, like, yes, it's spawning them in all 5 positions. Just none of them down here for whatever inane reason. Well, let me see how many positions we have. So 1... I can move them lower, SC Jolly, yes. But I guess the biggest problem I'm having is, like, why are they so offset to begin with? Let me try something. If I did this right, they should all be instantiating... Oh, here we go. Invalid access to property or key position on a base object of type nil. I have an idea. Car spawn points. Yeah. Let's see what this does. Huh. It's offset by a lot. Like, why? Wait, that might be why. I might have figured it out. Wait. We're actually putting that one here. This one I can delete. Uh. What the hell? This makes no sense. Why are they spawning here? Wait. I saw one pop up here. Why? Like, I adjusted the whole thing. God, are you serious? Ugh. Just why? Why? I swear to God, this is making such little sense right now. Like, I did everything the way he set it up. And yet somehow, every single one of these nodes that I've set up here is like completely offset, like all the way up here. Is there like a... Okay, let me... What if I turned off local space on the entire scene? No, that didn't make a difference. Okay, I don't know how long ago you sent that message, Spook and Beast. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for hanging out, and hopefully I will catch you on a future stream. See where the tutorial's pink line crosses the page? I don't think that... Are you talking about this pink line? That's the camera boundary for the player, SC Jolly.
Is this possible? For that, we have to go through a couple of steps. And along the way, we are going to create a link with a in the one instant. First of all, inside of Godot, I want to create a car scene.
The one near the top. Are you talking about this one? These red and green lines are the X and Y boundaries, or the X and Y origin points of the entire scene. Wait. Great, I'm gonna have to recenter everything all fucking over again. Okay. There. Okay. There. Oh, wait, the boundaries are visible. Oh, right, wait. Because I did it like this, I have to, I have to reset all my boundaries again. That didn't take long. Well, I mean, when you've done this a couple times, you start to pick up a few tricks along the way. All right. Okay, so left is negative 768. Top is negative 1280. So then right is 768. And bottom is negative 1280. Wait. 1280. All right, let me see. They are still offset. God, why? At least the cars are on the road barely. But it's like they should be spawning where these marker 2Ds are. Like, why aren't they doing that? Everything else, except maybe the animation, like, works the same, but like, these cars are not spawning where they're supposed to, and I'm fucking mad. On the plus side, at least all the nodes for all of the models. Hey, Blue Moon Butterfly, thank you for the lurk. On the plus side, all the nodes for all of the models are back where they're supposed to be. Well, I say models, but I mean all these sprites. Okay. Hmm. I put this song on repeat thinking it would make me feel hopeful about actually like fixing this. I'm not feeling hopeful anymore. Let's see. Wait. Oh my god, did that fix it? Oh my god, I fucking fixed it! Okay, I'm gonna need to offset the third marker just a tiny bit more. But these work. I just had to recenter all of my spawn points. Okay, I definitely need to move 3 and 4 up a tiny bit. But Jesus fucking Christ, it works now. This took so long! Oh my god! Thank you, God! Oh, fucking Christ, thank you. Okay, I'm hopeful again. Okay, offsetting those a little bit. Let me see if those spawn where I need them to. Okay, roughly, yes. Okay, yeah, we're good. Jesus fucking Christ, I finally did it. Don't change anything. I am not. God, like, everything just broke spawn-wise because I was off... I was, like, off base and off kilter for, like, everything. But it works now. And I think there's one thing that I can test with my player code too. Either way, I have earned a quick stretch. Like, I'm not going to change my scene. I just need to stand up. I've kind of been like sitting for a little while. Oh yeah. Last sip of water in my water bottle. Yes. Oh, I earned a quick stretch. Let me get my other side. Yes. Oh, Lord. Thank you. Actually, let me do my knees as well. I did not exercise today because my knee hurts, but feels worth it now.
Phew.
All right.
Add a new scene, and the root node is going to be in area 2.
All right, let's play this a little
This
bit
area
more.
2D, by
Oh
the
wait, no, I was gonna. I'm going to do animated sprite 2D dot flip H. Okay, if direction, if animated sprite 2D dot animation equals up walk animation, if direction dot y is less than 0, else animated sprite 2D dot animation equals down walk animation. I think this is right. Honestly, this looks a lot stupider than it feels. Well. Yeah, no, I think I'm just gonna... Again, there's something bugged with that code for like changing the script, but at the same time, like, as long as it moves. Yet I do find it very odd that the player can only move diagonally. I just see a chat from Zeus of Olympus that says, grass, what do you want me to do? Touch it? Ugh.
well. Now, before we continue, there's one important topic.
Oh wait, 32705.
Well, it loads the friends our player on the left side. Well, it onset looks pretty good. The issue now is on the left side, we can't see any of the cars. Simply because if a car starts here, for example, it only goes left. Not great for our purposes. But that we can work on. Inside of the script for the car. Once the car is ready, or in other words, func
Let me turn this back down a bit.
underscore ready, we can simply check if position.x is smaller than 0. If that is the case, we know we are on the left side. If that is the case, direction.x should be 1. That way, we're turning the vector left to a vector right. Although, if I run the game now, this is not going to work. We are still getting the cars on the right side, but we have no cars coming from the left side. The issue is that this ready function only runs before we are updating the position.
Okay.
Or in other words, the ready function, this one here, is called when you're adding a node.
Oh wait, if position.
The right side, if a
Direction dot x equals 1.
that way, we're turning the vector left to a vector right. Although
Right, because he set up more marker 2D nodes for these lanes. Yeah.
So if I run the game now, this is not going to work. We are still getting the cars on the right side, but we have no cars coming from the left side. The issue is that this ready function only runs before we are updating the position. Or in other words, the ready function,
yeah, I see what that problem is.
This one here, is called when you're adding a node to a scene, which currently happens on this line when we are calling add child, which at the moment is a bit of a problem because we are adding the car here and the current position of the car is 0 and 0. And then we are running this line here, which is never going to trigger because the position is 0 and 0.
It is triggering though.
Only after we are doing all of that, we are setting the position of the car. As a consequence, this if statement is never going to trigger. I can actually demonstrate. I want to print car direction. Let's run it, and this function is never going to run. So this doesn't do anything. Fixing that, fortunately, is very simple. We want to update the position of the car before we are adding it as a child to the scene, which is totally fine to do. When we are calling this ready function, the car already has the right position. And that way, we should be getting cars coming from the left as well. So there we get car direction. I just have to find it. There we have the car.
What? How? What did you do?
When we are calling this ready function, the car already has the right position. And that way,
hold on.
Although smaller than 0. If that is the case, we know we are on the left side. If that is the case, direction.x should be 1. That way, we're turning the vector left to a vector right. Although, if I run the game now,
is it actually
this is not going to work. We are still getting the cars on the right side, but we have no cars coming from the left side. The issue is that this ready function only runs before we are updating the position. Or in other words, the ready function, this one here, is called when you're adding a node to a scene, which currently happens on this line when we are calling add child, which at the moment is a bit of a problem because we are adding the car here and the current position of the car is 0 and 0. And then we are running this line here, which is never going to trigger because the position is 0 and 0. Only after we are doing all of that, we are setting the position of the car. As a consequence, this if statement is never going to trigger. I can actually demonstrate. I want to print car direction. Let's run it, and this function is never going to run. So this doesn't do anything. Fixing that, fortunately, is very simple. We want to update the position of the car before we are adding it as a child to the scene.
That's what you did. Alright, let's see. Okay, it's definitely working. The nodes definitely work, I just need to offset them a few pixels. Yeah. Either way, that works. Pretty good. Okay. Let's test that now. I think that's alright. May need to offset that bottom one a little more. Playing in traffic not good. It's not like they can hurt me right now. I can just get one to spawn here. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay, yeah, you know what? One, two, three, four. And 5, 6, 7, 8. There. Oh yeah, they're working in the lines now. Yeah, that's better. The cars are coming in through the... yes. So now... Now I just need to do this with the other two types of cars. Which I think I can get to eventually.
Which is totally fine to do. When we are calling this ready function, the car already has the right position. And that way...
I have an idea. To check the spawn frequency. If... If... Let me think. No, I needed to... If car.position dot car dot if car.position.x is greater than 0, print print vroom, bitch. And if car.position.x is less than 0, print honk honk. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's working out exactly as I need it to. I have a few ideas on how I can make this work. However, I am absolutely over time. Like, I despaired. I didn't get as far as I wanted to, but at least I fixed a major issue I was having. I dare argue that's progress and a half. But, yeah, now that I understand this better, I'm going to pick this up again next week. God, I never want to have to figure out a purple line or like an offset, because I realize now what my issue was. It was because, like, everything was, not centered on 0, 0, and I will never make that mistake again. And if I make that mistake again, then one of you is free to come to my home and slap me in the face. Don't actually do that, but good night, see you next time, and you're welcome. Yeah, thank you for cheering me on the whole time. I appreciate that. Either way, that's going to be it for the stream, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you liked what you saw, please consider following, subscribing, liking, commenting, hyping, if possible, all that good stuff. Thanks for tuning into my other videos and my shorts. That really means a lot to me. Keep an eye out for tomorrow's short. I gotta record Saturday's video at some point too, but I already know what that's going to be. So please look forward to it. And tune in Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday is a collab with my friends. I'm going to be playing Halo 3 ODST for the very first time. Saturday is a collab with some different friends where I'm playing Super Battle Golf. And Sunday, I'm going to be playing Resident Evil Requiem. So those are going to be some really fun, if not chaotic times. So please look forward to those. With all that being said, thanks for hanging out with me, vibing with me, chatting with me, and trying to help me figure this out and hype me up as I go along. I greatly appreciate your time and your company. Once again, this has been Pause and Effect on Air. I've been your host, CJ. I will see you all tomorrow for Halo 3 ODST. Have a good night.